the Roman Empire tried to erase Christianity. They burned scriptures, outlawed worship, and executed believers. But what if I told you that within a century, that same empire would be building churches and funding Christian leaders? This is the story of how Christianity went from the persecuted to the powerful, and how one decree, the Edict of Milan, reshaped history forever. Alright, picture this. It's the early 4th century, and Rome is basically the world's biggest reality show. Political drama, backstabbing, and a serious intolerance for monotheism. Christianity, at this point, is like an underground indie band, small but growing, attracting followers despite the fact that the government occasionally tries to, wipe them out. Emperors like Nero and Diocletian took persecution to another level, torching churches, executing believers, and making being a Christian about as safe as being a piñata at a baseball practice. But here's the twist. Despite centuries of crackdowns, Christianity kept spreading. By the early 300s, it had become a substantial religious force within the empire, with adherents in every province and even within the imperial administration itself. The turning point came with Constantine the Great, a figure whose relationship with Christianity remains one of the most debated topics in history. Before 313, Constantine had already demonstrated a level of tolerance towards Christians, particularly following his rise to power after the Battle of the Milvian Bridge in 312. According to later accounts, he experienced a divine vision before this battle, in which he saw a cross and the words, "In hoc signo vinces," "In this sign, you will conquer." Whether it was divine intervention or just a really dramatic marketing move, Constantine won. Though it is unclear how deeply Constantine understood or embraced Christian theology at this point, it was evident that he saw the faith as a powerful unifying force. In 313, Constantine, now ruling the western half of the empire, met with Licinius, the ruler of the eastern half, in the city of Milan. This decree granted full religious tolerance to Christians and restored their confiscated properties, effectively ending the era of systematic persecutions. The Edict of Milan did not make Christianity the official state religion. That development would come later under Emperor Theodosius in 380 CE. This was a remarkable departure from previous Roman policies, which often sought to enforce religious conformity. Constantine and Licinius framed the decree as an act of imperial benevolence, arguing that religious diversity would bring stability to the empire. With Constantine now the sole ruler of Rome, Christianity's position became even stronger. The long-term impact of the Edict of Milan was immense. The edict also contributed to a fundamental shift in Roman governance, as emperors began to see themselves as divinely sanctioned rulers, responsible not just for military and civic affairs, but also for religious orthodoxy. In hindsight, the Edict of Milan represents a critical moment in the history of religious freedom. Regardless of interpretation, the significance of the Edict of Milan is undeniable. I'll leave you to discuss in the comments. Do you think Constantine's conversion was sincere, or was it just a smart political move?